describe some of the circles of decision making? I mean, like, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you just give me a couple examples? What
Yeah. So the LLC is a circle of decision making. That's the 11 members.
Yeah. Yeah.
The board of directors is a circle of decision making. That's the 11 members plus 3 outside members. In the Occidental Arts and Ecology Center, we've got what we call a staff collective, which is a circle of decision making that's a subset of all of our staff. We have staff that range from full-time staff that have been here for 15 years to hourly staff, the folks who help us in the kitchen or who do parking or help us with housekeeping. And within that whole pool, I think it's up to 27 or 28 staff people now. A subset of that, maybe about 14, is our staff collective. So that's another circle of decision making. When we come together as a staff collective, we split our agendas into 2 agendas. We've got an agenda that the whole deals with, an agenda that another subset deals with, which excludes the interns. And so actually in our meetings at a certain moment, we finish one agenda and we end that meeting. The interns get up and leave. It's fully transparent. They know why they're leaving. They know what's on the agenda that they're not invited to be at. People rarely around here feel bad about missing a meeting. Yeah. So it's kind of a good, kind of a bonus moment for them. But it's important for everybody in every circle to understand why they're in that circle and why other people are excluded from it. So that's another circle of decision making. And then it breaks down from there to program areas, that each program area has its own program committee. And those are circles of decision making. And in the sewing circle, we also have something called work spheres, where we confer authority to individuals over certain things that just make this place run. And relatively small decisions can be made outside of consensus circles. And so all of these different circles are circles of decision making. And then the other important thing about this is putting in place feedback mechanisms where one circle communicates with another. So when a decision's made over here, the people over here have to find out, or things go wrong. And so there has to be a flow of information that is part of the consciousness of this whole thing. And there also has to be a very high degree of process literacy, because in any given circle, something might come up which belongs in another circle. And so everybody has to have a pretty high awareness of where are these circles and how do they function. So if something comes up in a OAEC staff collective meeting, somebody at that table might say, this actually is a sewing circle issue, we're going to put it on that agenda. Or can we take this issue out of this meeting and put it in the school garden program committee and let them decide. And so there's a lot of kind of passing things around, passing decisions around, understanding your decisions before you make them, characterizing them, and then setting yourself up for success to put them in the right container at the right time. And once you, it sounds pretty complicated in the abstract, but once you start living it, it's actually, it's the difference between having a file system and just having a desk with a big file on it. It's very enabling, actually.
Yeah, I'm interested in my question goes to the larger community, the fact you live in Sonoma County, you have neighbors and what have you, and the interconnectedness, if any, the outreach, what is your relationship, what you had, I'm interested in how we translate what you're doing here into the larger consciousness outside your borders, but with neighbors.
Yeah. Well, an enormous amount of that work has been directed and implemented by Brock. With the Basins of Relations program, and so you should partially answer that question. And a couple of things to say about that would be, when we first got here, our neighbors were a big focus. Really getting to know them, having them know who we are, giving as much to the community as we can, inviting them to things that we think might interest them. We do have some people who don't seem to like us very much. We have trash left on the driveway. We've had our signs smashed in recently. So there are, a couple of bad apples out there. But I think in most cases, we've engendered a lot of goodwill by not only just being responsible, but also being transparent and really reaching out and being as much of a resource to local need, to supply local needs as we can. So most of us go and engage the community one way or another. Maybe for me, it's donating paintings to auctions, or having local shows, or Brock goes out and speaks, or whatever. We do consulting locally, and it's been very, very important because in Northern California anyway, almost all code enforcement is just neighbor enforced, and people can make enormous problems for you even if you're totally legal and in compliance by complaining about you, and it's very important to be in good relations with your neighbors. So
Do you reach out to the county commissions and anything like that too? I mean, you've obviously got so much good stuff going on here. I mean, like this is the model for larger outreach.
Brock has frequented the county commission's meetings with
Board
a
of
giant
Supervisors.
styrofoam salmon suit.
So,
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we're all very astute around how things work and circles of decision making in the broader society. And so whether it's county stuff, zoning ordinance world, permit and planning, city councils, regional water boards,